but it's very rare you see somebody do a flying knee, perfectly timed, by the way, perfectly timed flying knee. You land right on his forehead, and you blow his face up. Okay. Now, first off, did you feel bad about it? Like, what? I mean, talk me through that shit. Like, when it happened, I was like, oh my God, he done killed him. And when you see the X-rays afterwards, it's like, oh my God. And I don't think he ever fought after that. So
no, he hasn't.
Yeah, that's the first time I exposed to you. So tell me about you blowing up homeboy's face. Walk me through that.
And then I phoned up my coach, and he was like, yeah, I saw it last night, but I didn't want to tell you anything. I wanted you to just like enjoy your celebration and and not kind of worry about that. But yeah, obviously I was kind of worried that that he's going to be okay, which he was, fortunately. But yeah, it was a bit of a crazy one.
At 38, MVP is a true striking phenom. For years, he competed outside the biggest stage in MMA, but even making his UFC debut at 36, Michael Venom Page has delivered a masterclass in striking, schooling some of the elite strikers in the world's top promotion. His movement looks like something straight out of an anime, and his charisma and in-cage swagger spark constant debate. Despite his flashy style and cocky demeanor inside the octagon, MVP never goes in for the kill once the fight's clearly over. In fact, outside the cage, he's known as one of the most respectful and friendly guys in the game. So who is this elusive puzzle that fighters still struggle to solve, and what makes him so hard to figure out? In today's video, we're taking a look back at 5 legendary performances from MVP, just as he makes his return to the UFC octagon. Let's go. Let's start with the most bone-crushing and brutal knockout of MVP's career. A moment so devastating, it forced his opponent to walk away from the sport for good. It was that summer of 2016 when the entire world finally started talking about MVP.
I knew the damage, so obviously I knew I had landed something crazy, because he's turned over, he's not locked out, but his feet's like, kicking. Anytime I see people's feet kicking, they're in pain. Yep. I assumed I probably like broke his nose or something, which is, a bit more of a common injury in MMA, so.
Michael's original opponent pulled out, and stepping in on short notice was a seasoned veteran, a representative of the legendary Chute Boxe Academy, and a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Evangelista Santos. Despite being given little to no chance, no one could have predicted what was about to happen. From the opening seconds, the Brit took the center of the cage and started toying with his prey. It felt like MVP was sparring with a live punching bag. Everything was landing, spinning elbows, crisp 1-2s, and his signature knees. In classic MVP fashion, he fought with his hands down, dismantling his opponent without a hint of concern. The Brazilian's grappling simply wasn't a factor. Even there, MVP almost submitted him. Cyborg looked completely lost, unsure of where he was, and at one point, the Brit reminded him exactly where he was. But even then, he had to remind him again, just to make sure. I still remember those days. Seeing those photos made me feel uneasy, even as a fan of the sport. MVP came across as a ruthless, cold-blooded assassin, willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goal. The incredible hype surrounding the brash Brit continued to build until he finally met former champion Douglas Lima. It was Lima who managed to make Michael pay for all the years of showboating and highlight reel knockouts, dishing out a brutal dose of payback in the most emphatic way possible. The Brazilian is one of the best leg kickers in the game, and to this day, he's the only one who's been able to exploit the Brit's biggest weakness on the feet, his wide stance. Not everyone is able to successfully bounce back after such a tough and painful loss. His whole career, Page effortlessly dominated his opponents, making each of them a highlight reel for himself. And now, he became that same kind of fighter, Many said he finally got what was coming for his flashy style, that someone would expose him and any solid fighter would run him over, but that's not how it went down.
What's going through your head right now? First pro loss, how are you dealing with it? What's sort of your emotions right now?
I had a bit of a, like I said, just frustration, crash. Just for a minute, got out of my system, watched the fight back, analyze it. In all honesty, if I could lose to anybody, I'm glad it was him. He's an amazing martial artist and person. So I'm, like I said, you know, right the way through, I've said I respected this man. So if I could lose to anybody, it would have been him. So I'm kind of over it. It's more about bouncing back now and what path I should take now.
Though the rematch wasn't exactly a show stealer, we witnessed a real roller coaster ride inside the Bellator octagon. The momentum swung back and forth, with both fighters having their moments in an opening round. Page, in his signature style, blitzed Lima twice with his right hand, while the Brazilian had his moments on the ground, pounding Britt's face to the canvas. In the second round of the rematch, we got a real flashback, an identical situation that could have ended MVP's career for good. But thanks to his cat-like reflexes, corner advice, and some plot armor, the flashy Brit dodged the same strike and kept the fight going. The fight was as close as it gets, and despite the controversial decision, Page proved he can hang with the elite and even beat them. Michael Page's first real test in the world's best league came against a dangerous knockout artist, Kevin Holland, who had finally settled into the welterweight division. Big Mouth entered the bout as a slight favorite thanks to his experience and versatility, especially against what many saw as an aging Page. Leading up to the fight, Kevin was confident in his abilities and didn't think he'd need to rely on his wrestling. In his mind, he was the more evolved striker and fully expected to handle business on the feet.
Yeah, or they didn't really have anything in store. But I'm a bit of a geek, so I kind of know a couple of spots that you can go and find some stuff. And I managed to get a hat, get the poker ball, and then just visualize exactly how I was gonna do it.
Gotcha. Now, when you say Pokemon Go, what is that? I'm not familiar with that. Enlighten me. And I think the viewers aren't know what the hell that is either. So what is that?
So Pokemon Go, it literally blew up around the world. Like, everybody was playing it. It's one of those ones, it's basically...
The Brit, on the other hand, made a bold statement, one he would go on to back up with his performance. The UFC now has a new MVP.
And now it's, wow, the passion in here is crazy. Wow. I'm gonna bring that back to you. Don't worry, Saturday night, I'm gonna bring that back to you. But I just wanna say, UFC has a new MVP.
Before the fight, Michael was asked whether Kevin would keep it strictly standing, as he usually does. Page answered with full confidence.
It's such a great fight, I think, for so many different reasons. He loves to strike, you know, I love to strike, you know, his entertainment, in fact, he loves to talk, I love to kick people in the face. It just works.
He does like to strike, and we've seen him make some deals in the past about staying on the feet and cutting out the grappling. Do you kind of feel like he might make that deal with you, or no?
He is definitely not gonna make that deal. I think he's had a taste of that style already, and I don't think he's gonna want to use as many of his attributes as possible to make sure he wins this fight.
As soon as the fighters stepped into the cage, the 36-year-old Page started putting on a show, outstriking Holland from range, chopping away at his legs, sweeping him off balance, and forcing him to retreat into the clinch just to survive. We hadn't seen Holland look this helpless on the feet in a long time, while Page was absolutely glowing, enjoying every second in there, spinning elbows, slick one 1-2s followed by sweeps, the fight became so one-sided that for the first time, we saw Kevin shooting for takedowns just to stay afloat. But even that wasn't enough. The 36-year-old veteran beat Kevin at his own game, becoming the first to silence him inside the cage and proving that in his case, age really is just a number.
Fight interview, you said, you felt you still had a lot of work to do in there. Is that just your own self-criticism, or do you have like specific things you need to work on?
Yeah, it's definitely me. Definitely me. I want to be better. I want to do better. And don't get me wrong, let's say second round, third round, I got the finish. I would have said the same thing. I would have said exactly the same thing, because there's just moments in there that I just know what I can do, and I wasn't able to execute.
After a frustrating and close L to Ian Gary, which we'll definitely come back to, MVP has decided to move up in weight to face the company's new rising star, a so-called pirate who's raided all the gatekeepers and journeymen in the division, boldly declaring himself the captain.
This is #1 bullshit.
Shara himself, who somehow cracked the middleweight top 15, decided to call out Adesanya, but MVP, being a real one and a loyal friend, stepped in to defend his teammate.
Shara Bullet?
Then he called, out my boy Izzy. Mate, I'm at that weight right now. We don't even have to wait too long. That one there, I'll just take straight away, just for the fun of it.
Wow. So you'd be willing to go up to 85 to fight him?
Oh, 100. That's what I'm fighting at. That's what I'm grappling at right now. So I'm in shape now, ready to go. So that's a good fight for me, I think. Just a nice stand-up fight for everybody. Just to come back to the game. And like I said, leave my boy Izzy alone. He's trying to get back to the belt, to the throne. So I'll take his place.
Despite the fact that Page had just outstruck far more elite strikers than Shara, it was the Pirate who came in as the clear favorite with the odds makers, riding a win streak backed by youth and boasting serious size advantages. Despite neither fighter showing much interest in grappling, it still felt like the Dagestani just had to have some wrestling in his back pocket, like it was impossible for him not to.
No way. No way.
I mean, seriously, how is it even possible that a guy from Dagestan doesn't know how to wrestle?
Because
Bullet himself was confident MVP wouldn't be able to handle his pace and would eventually shoot for takedowns.
Чтобы он меня заставил бороться? Мне больше кажется, это его игра слов. Он, наверное, скорее всего, сам собирается со мной бороться, поэтому так говорит. Для чего он говорит, это я не могу понять. Почему? Обычно я соперником такое говорил, он сейчас решил первый выстрелить, мне такое сказать. моим же оружием меня хочет, короче. Но мне, конечно, он сам пойдет бороться первым.
The 38-year-old Brit pulled a real gangster move, stepped up in weight, came straight into the Pirates' territory, and took everything that belonged to him that night. It was a complete domination and real fraud check. For 15 straight minutes, Shara had virtually nothing going for him, aside from a couple low kicks early on, and a pair of knees from the clinch in round 3. MVP floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, even in the new weight class. Page picked his shots with sniper precision, mixed in clinch work, faked level changes, and landed slicing elbows. He struck from the clinch, dropped Bullet, and made it look easy. All fight long, Magomedov looked like a walking punching bag, and the only real credit you could give him was for having a granite chin. Even at the very end, when he dove into MVP's guard, he nearly got caught in a triangle. 5 more seconds, and not even his saber would have saved him. After the fight, MVP grabbed the mic and declared himself the new captain of the ship, while Shara started throwing out awkward excuses, which sounded even worse considering the one-sided beatdown he had just taken.
Вчера я не был самим собой, я могу быть в клетке. 30% у меня только там было. Это самая была худшая моя подготовка за всю мою профессиональную карьеру MMA.
MVP's highlight reel is stacked with flashy knockouts and spectacular spectacular finishes. But let's be honest, most of the guys he styled on were virtual unknowns. That said, there's no way I could leave this fight off the list. Almost nobody expected a near 40-year-old veteran to put that kind of beating on one of the sport's most promising prospects. The 25-year-old Irishman was confident he was the superior striker and would run through Page with ease. After all, he saw himself as a fighter from a whole different generation.
I am so talented. This guy couldn't win a world title at Bellator, and he's trying to come over here and he's trying to do something different. What he's doing in the UFC is trying to legitimize his career. I'm going to put an end to his career on Saturday night. I'm going to finish him, and I'm going to send him back to London. He's going to be on his own. He's going to be in his head. I've already broke this man's confidence down so much. He knows I don't need to say what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm on about. Your self-confidence is fucked. You know what I'm talking about, and it will come out. It'll come out, kid. But your brain is fucking scurrying for excuses.
Yo, this guy is hilarious. Just remember.
Do you want to say
it
or will I? Do you want to say it or will I? What am I talking about? Tell the people. Did you and your team offer thousands of dollars to get information in Shoot the Box from my boys?
The age gap between the two was over a decade, yet inside the cage, Page didn't just look younger, he looked faster, sharper, and far more dangerous than Gary.
Shut the fuck up! Calm the fuck down.
In the very first round, Machado decided not to test his luck on the feet, caught one of the Brit's kicks, and spent the rest of the round backpacked on him, trying to channel his inner Charles du Bronx. But MVP weathered the storm and came out in round 2 looking even stronger, piecing up the Irishman from every possible angle. The crowd was stunned as Page repeatedly closed the distance with ease, lighting up the younger fighter with his signature dagger-like strikes. Round 3 started strong for MVP as well. In one of the exchanges, he landed clean on the Irishman and found himself in mount. The Future eventually recovered guard position, and the two stayed locked on the ground until a critical mistake from Page that changed everything. In a split-second decision to return to his feet, MVP gave up position, and it ended up costing him the fight. Despite coming up short in a razor-close fight, Michael Venom Page once again showcased his elite striking and proved to the world that he's still one of the most dangerous stand-up fighters on the planet. If you think you're just going to walk through him, do yourself a favor, book a 2 to 3 years trip to Dagestan, and forget